It is finally happening. We are going to get 6 years worth of Donald Trump's tax returns after spending so much time and so much money and so much effort, exhausting every possible means. The House Ways and Means Committee has the tax returns, and they have voted that indeed they are going to release them. This is absolutely huge, and we will talk about what we might find in these tax returns. We already found out the supposed audits that were taking place were not actually taking place. We'll delve into that in a moment. Reuters reporting U.S. House Committee to release redacted Trump tax filings. The U.S. House of Representatives Committee voted yesterday to release partially redacted tax filings from Trump and said tax authorities had failed to properly scrutinize his returns while he was in office, despite endless, breathless, apoplectic claims that the IRS is working in a politically partisan way to target Republicans. Trump's filings were not even actually scrutinized in the way he claimed that they were. The committee said the U.S. Internal Revenue Service did not follow its own rules when it failed to audit Trump's tax returns during 3 of his 4 years in office. Members said Congress should pass a law to strengthen the presidential audit program. Let's look at a video here of Congressman Lloyd Doggett explaining what we are going to get and when we are going to get it.
Returns. That's going to be it. We're not also going to get all the tax returns, just to be very clear here.
You will get all of the tax returns that the Supreme Court and the lower courts said that Mr. Neal's request could get. You will get all of those. That may be delayed for a few days only to permit time to redact things like Social Security numbers, personal ID numbers, that type of thing. But you will get the complete Trump tax returns such as they are for the years that Mr. Neal requested.
Okay, so that's 2015 through 2020, just to be clear, yeah?
That's correct.
Okay.
And I think what I find surprising, our focus had been on the IRS audit and whether it was being done properly.
Right.
Is the IRS did no audits at all until such time as the day they received Mr. Neal's request for these documents, and that day they requested the first audit. They have yet to complete a single audit of Mr. Trump.
Can you imagine? And we're going to delve more into the audit part. But the critical question is, at this point in time, what might we learn from these tax returns? A number of different things. Trump is not as wealthy as he claims to be. Almost certainly. And in fact, we have so many other sources that suggest that is the case. We may learn about Trump's conflicts of interest. Trump's tax returns could potentially reveal conflicts between his business dealings and his role as president of the United States, potentially conflicts of interests with a national security consequence. And it could include details about financial arrangements with foreign governments or individuals or questionable relationships. We could learn about tax evasion or outright fraud. There have been concerns for a long time about Trump's financial dealings, including whether, and it seems almost guaranteed that he is from everything else we know, whether he is misstating, exaggerating, or understating the value of certain assets for whatever purpose is convenient at the time. Use of charitable funds. Trump has been criticized for his use of funds from the Charitable Foundation, which, remember, had its own legal problems some years ago, including that he was using that money as a sort of personal expense slush fund. In the tax returns, it's possible that we might learn more about that. Hidden assets, whether Trump has hidden assets or income streams that have not been previously disclosed. And there is much more. Why would Trump work so hard to prevent the release of the tax returns? Well, based on the reasons I just gave you, there could be legal concerns. In other words, if indeed Trump's tax returns contain information about possible fraud or any of the other things I mentioned, that could potentially be used against Trump in a legal context. It could be the evidence for the tax evasion or fraud that he is suspected of engaging in, and that could be why he didn't want the tax returns released. Image protection. Trump is extraordinarily vain and narcissistic. The tax returns, as I mentioned, might reveal Trump's not as wealthy as he claims to be, or that he has debts that are maybe bad for his image. So image protection. And thirdly, to some degree, strategic considerations, in the sense that if he had normal followers, they might react to the information contained in the tax returns negatively and might abandon Trump. Trump doesn't have normal followers. We experienced that during 2016, and the phrase, "I could shoot someone on Fifth Avenue and not lose any support," it actually seems much more accurate than we might have assumed at the beginning. So in theory, there would be strategic considerations for Trump wanting to prevent the release of his tax returns. In practice, it's not clear his followers really give two whatevers about what the guy has done or claimed or lied about or whatever the case may be. So we are days away, maybe even less, from the release of 6 years of Trump's tax returns. We will delve into it, but one thing we know, the IRS audit claims were lies. I want to talk about that next. Let's face it, the holiday season can be a stressful time for anyone, even a stressor on relationships, in-laws dividing time, mismatched expectations around gifts. Our sponsor, Paired, is the app that makes it easy to maintain a feeling of connection with your partner during this crazy time of year. You and your partner download the app, you pair together, and every day Paired gives the two of you questions or quizzes, games to have fun, stay emotionally connected, deepen your conversations. And all of the exercises were developed by academic psychologists and expert relationship therapists as well. My girlfriend and I have been using Paired quite a bit lately. It's fun, especially with the baby these days. It's more important than ever for us to find quality time. And Paired is really the perfect way to spark that with funny moments, meaningful conversations, and we can use Paired on the go. Don't let end-of-year stressors get in the way of you and your partner enjoying some connecting. Paired makes it simple, and giving your significant other a Paired subscription is a great last-minute holiday gift. Head over to paired.com/Pacman for a 7-day free trial and 25% off a subscription. The link is down below.